Hello, my name is Paul Brinkhurst from FutureWorks, and this is another ESAT training video for the new user interface. In this video, we're going to look at managing and setting up your time points. Remember, time points are a way of controlling the assessment cycle. So in ESAT, each time point consists of a self-assessment and a staff assessment. The staff assessments have to be finalized by the counselor, and upon finalizing, the plots will appear, and that time point will be completed. So when you enter ESAT, you'll land on the dashboard. If you need to manage your time points, you can go to Manage Time Points. The Manage Time Points page will list the learners that you are associated with as counselor. If you click on the arrow, it'll show you the status. So in this case, Lisu has 2 time points created. Well, sorry, 1 time point, but this is the self-assessment and this is the staff assessment. And both of them are indicated as overdue. So the time points are still available, the assessments are still available. It's just that they have gone beyond the date that was requested. You can note also there's a button here that says remove the last time point. If you click that, then it will ask you to affirm your choice, and it will then remove the last time point as if it had never been created. All the data will be gone, the time point itself will disappear, and the system will reset to the last time point. If you want something a little more subtle, you just want to remove some of the data, then you should contact ESAT support. We look at the new user learner down here. You can see this person has 3 completed time points and the 4th one, which is overdue. If you want to see the actual results, you can click on it, and this is the result for that time point, showing the scores and the plot. We go back. If you want to see the self-assessment, you can click on it, and it'll show you the self-assessment scores for that learner. It's also very useful to search by time points. So you can enter a name, you can search by the type, and you can search by the status, completed or not completed. Okay? So that can be very useful if you've got a lot of learners in here. So if we put in okay, it'll do the search for you. Okay, so that's how you manage your time points, right? You can see them, you can see their status, you can delete the last one if you want to. The other important thing, of course, is creating a time point. So if I click on Create Time Points, then it will show me the list of all the learners that I am the counselor for. If you've got a lot, again, you can search by name or program in order to narrow them down. So let's work with Betty Boop here. So Betty is in the Entry Health program, and what I can do is select the type of assessment we want done. I can do this for as many people as I like before I do the submission. So I have various options here. Both creates the opportunity for both the self-assessment and the staff assessment. This would normally be the one you select, except at the beginning of the program. At the beginning of the program, what often happens is you want the self-assessment to be done right away in order to kickstart the whole social and emotional skills program. But you can't do the staff assessment right away because your staff need time to observe. So at the beginning of the program, you might start by clicking on Just Self. This will trigger the self-assessment and allow the learner to log in and complete that assessment. You would then have to go back 2 weeks later or 3 weeks later and select the staff option. This will trigger an email to the members of the team working with this learner telling them to do the staff assessment. Okay. So at the beginning of the program, you can choose one of these two if you like, the self, and then come back and do the staff. Subsequently, second time point, third, you would use both because you want the assessments to happen at roughly the same time. There are two other options here, self without any staff, staff without any self. These are there for those special cases where you want the system to complete one of the assessments for you. So for example, self without any staff. This might be where you're in an employment center and you have a client, you want them to do the self-assessment, but you don't have the time to observe them, and so a staff assessment is not appropriate. In that circumstance, if you select that option, then the computer will complete the assessment of the staff for you so that it appears in the center of a plot as a dot. The other one, staff without any self, would be for a circumstance maybe where your clients don't have the cognitive ability to complete the self-assessment, or it's just not appropriate for some reason. So if you select this one, it allows the staff process to take place, but it will complete the self-assessment for you. If you select self without any staff, because there is no staff assessment, there is no consensus, you won't need to finalize it. As soon as the person finishes their self-assessment, that time point would be considered done. You want to be careful using this one. Some programs have used self without any staff as the initial first time point. And then for the second time point, they go to both. The only difficulty with this is that the system will think that the time point number one staff results are 0. And that's a bit of an issue if you use the performance measures that are built into ESAT, because they use the first time point results for various calculations. And if they're 0, it can lead to misleading results. So what I can do here is select both. I can select what I want for Big Cat as well if I wanted to, or I can reset it to none. Notice that down here for these learners, I can't select both. I can't select any of these. These have been turned off because Lisu has an existing assessment triggered. So as soon as one's triggered, it won't let you trigger the next one. You can't pre-plan your assessments in ESAT because individual learners often have different needs, and we're trying to discourage treating every learner exactly the same, just in case they need different frequencies of assessments. So if you can't select a button, it's because they already have an assessment in place. And you can check that by going to your Manage Time Points and looking. So once I've selected what I want here, I click Submit. It says the time points have been created. And if I go to Manage Time Points now, I could see, there we go, there's Betty's, and she's waiting to go. Once that has been done, we can see from the dashboard, Betty is now sitting here waiting for the assessment to be completed. And if I also go to the learner list, under Betty, it now says staff assessment here. So that is how you create the time points. You delete the time points and you check and see what the status of time points are. It's also how you can go back and look at the results from a time point assessment if you like. And that ends this training video.